Hi everyone, Mrs. Kitchell here at Riverside, and today we're going to talk about tuning a cello and a bass. We're going to talk about tuning a cello using both the fine tuners and the pegs, and the bass using the gears. One of the first things that's very important is to have an app or a drone that will help you know when you're in tune. So a drone pitch that's playing one steady pitch all the way through, or an app that is going to show you like that needle or a circle telling you when you're in tune. Smart Music has one on their website. There are other websites like Tuner Ninja that do tuning, or you can download an app. You can also go to YouTube and find a drone pitch video where it just plays that drone pitch and you can follow along. The first thing on a cello is the fine tuners. Okay, the fine tuners are down at the bottom. The nice thing about the fine tuners is they can go pretty far in making adjustments and are pretty safe in terms of whether or not we're gonna break the string. You're probably not gonna have a problem with that if you're using your fine tuners, I promise. It's not scary. The nice thing too about the fine tuner is if you twist one way and it doesn't get better, just go the other way. I like to sometimes do my fine tuner tuning. I can do it this way where I have it in my lap. I'm using one hand to pluck the string. You can hear my cello's not very in tune, and I can twist using the app. So I'm plucking and I can twist the fine tuner and check where I'm at. You can also do it bowing, where you have the instrument here, you bow, and then you reach down and you change your fine tuner as well. That works. If the fine tuners don't get you far enough, you're probably gonna need to use the peg. One thing I always recommend first is to check your fine tuners. So right now, if you can see, my A string fine tuner is screwed all the way in. Before I go use my peg, I am gonna lower that fine tuner quite a bit. I'm gonna lower it so it's kind of just in the middle. It's not all the way out, but it's kind of in the middle so that I have room, once I get the peg pretty close, I have room to adjust that fine tuner. So there, I've loosened it a little bit, I've screwed it out. The best way that I recommend cellos tune with their pegs is to turn the cello towards you. Don't be too close to it, just in case. Tune the cello towards you. You're going to take your hand, you're going to put it on one of the pegs, whichever side you're on. So if it's a right side peg, I'm going to use my right hand. If it was a left side peg, I'd use my left hand. And I'm going to put my hand on that peg. I'm going to use my other hand braced up against the neck of the instrument, and I'm going to use my thumb to pluck. Okay? And the first way I'm going to turn is towards me. That's going to loosen the string a little bit, which helps us not break that string. We don't want to over tighten it. So I'm going to turn the string towards me a little bit to loosen it. You can hear it's gone way down. Then I'm going to start turning it away from me. I think about the peg like a clock, and I only want to go minutes on the clock at a time. This is true of violins and violas as well. I only want to go a couple minutes. I don't want to go from 1:30 all the way to 2 p.m. or 6 to midnight really fast. I want to go really slow, and as I'm doing it, you can see that I am plucking with my other thumb, and I'm pushing in really hard. Especially with a cello, you're going to need to push in or it'll just slip. If you can't get enough of pressure to push in here, you might move your hand up to the scroll like this, and you can get a little muscle in there to push in. And you want to see if you can get it to stick. If you still need more help, stand up. That will give you more leverage to push in on that cello peg. So again, I'm turning up very slightly and I'm pushing in to get it to stick. And I'm going just little bits at a time. Okay? If I've gone too high or too low, I can then go back to the fine tuner and make that adjustment from there. So again, turn towards you to loosen it first, turn away from you slowly while pushing in really hard to get it to stick, and turning little bits at a time. Now I'll show you on a bass. Now, as bass players know, you don't have fine tuners down at the bottom, nor do you have pressure-based pegs. You have gears. They might look like this, they might look a little bit different, but either way, you have gears on your instrument. They work kind of like fine tuners, and similarly to the cellos and any other instrument, as long as you go slowly, you're going to be okay. Think about your gears like a clock. You never want to go 30 minutes at a time or an hour at a time. You want to go just a few minutes at a time. Again, I take my left hand and I'll put it up on the gear that I need, and I'm gonna use my right hand to pluck while I'm checking with that app or drone pitch that I'm using to tune. So I find which string I'm gonna tune. I'm gonna use my G, so I find my G gear. If I want the pitch to go down, I am going to tip that peg down. My thumb comes down, okay? So I can lower the pitch by turning my thumb kind of downward, and then eventually it does push back up, but turning inward. If I need the pitch to go up, I'm pushing on my thumb. The same is true on the other pegs on the other side. If I push from my index finger, I kind of turn my thumb inward, pitch goes down. If I push with my thumb, pitch goes up. All the while I'm plucking to see where I am on that, or I might be bowing to see where I am as well. But again, it's about going slowly and moving those gears just a little bit at a time while you're playing to see if you can get that instrument in tune. Pushing in. Go slow, go just a couple minutes on the clock at a time. Violin, viola, cello especially, use those fine tuners to your advantage. Most of the time you'll only need the fine tuners. Use that to your advantage, and when in doubt, reach out to a teacher for help. We're always here to help you out. Using those steps and keeping an eye on what you're doing, you're gonna be great at tuning your own instrument.